Welcome to this first video about the Recruitment Metrics Lab platform. I'm going to show you a few additional features we haven't covered in the first two videos yet. And I'm going to start with the admin feature, which is here. So the admin is actually how you add or modify users. So it's very important for you if, for example, you want to work with a hiring manager or you want to work with a recruitment party and you want to give access to the platform to those people so they can do their part on the project, or for the hiring manager they can follow the project. So I'm going to try to create an account, so I'm going to call it agency test. It's going to be agency at agency.com, and I'm going to create a login. You can decide really what you want to create. I would suggest to have a standard way to create logins, but it's up to you. And I'm going to decide what account type this person has. So if I choose ML Recruiter, so Metrics Lab Recruiter, this person has access to this platform here that we're seeing together now. So really the recruitment manager platform. If I decide to pick hiring manager, it's a hiring manager is going to have access to a platform via a different link, and he will be able only to see the vacancy and the progress. He shouldn't be adding things on the platform because that's something the coordinator or the recruiter is doing, or that's something that the third party is doing, right? And if I put a recruitment agency, which I will do now, then this person will have access to the recruitment agency link to the platform and will see only his own work on the project is assigned to. So I'm going to pick active, and I'm going to say, well, they can view project, they can add candidates, for example, they can view notes, they can add CVs, things like that, right? And certain things are not relevant because they shouldn't be able to add users, for example, or to change status candidate. So I'm going to do that. And now I see it's there, my agency, right? So it was very easy to create, right? So it just, just filling a name and filling the rights, and you have it here. So if it's here, I can then now assign project to this agency. So that's where it's getting really interesting. So if I go to this project, Project Manager US, you can see that nobody's working on that project except me, because it's in a white background. And if it's in a white background, it hasn't been assigned to anyone yet. If it's in a blue background, it means it has been assigned either to a hiring manager or to a third party or both. So I'm going now to say I want to assign this project, and I'm going to pick the user. So I'm picking the one I just created, agency test, and I'm going to assign it to her. So now it's assigned, so it gets into blue, and this agency gets access to this project and can start working and uploading candidates. So the admin is really interesting for you to involve the right people at the right level to your project. Another feature I want to show you is the reports, because obviously that's also very, very important. So you can choose your project, you can choose start date, you can choose even the user you want to see, or the statuses. Now there's not a lot of data, so I'm going to use the report I'm seeing here already. So here you see all your projects, you see the number of candidates uploaded, and you see where they are in the recruitment process. So if I look at this, I have 5 candidates uploaded in this sales manager project, and 5 are in status more information, so I ask for more information about the profile. Now here I have just one, and he's been introduced to the hiring manager, so it means that the profile has been presenting to hiring manager and waiting for the hiring manager to decide if this candidate is going in the interview process or not. Right, so here that's your status goes I mentioned in the previous video. So this is really nice because you can follow the progress of all the candidates, and you can also quickly see where you need to put your attention. So if you see, for example, this one, well, I have one candidate, he's hired, I'm good, right? So it's a done work. But if I see this one here, I just have one candidate that is introduced to hiring manager, so there's a risk that it's not going to go through the whole process. So I really need to find new candidates here because I have only one. And probably the same thing for the others that I just created. So it's a really nice report to use for yourself, just to have an overview of all your projects and where they stand. Another thing I wanted to show you is how you can export the database. It's very simple, actually. So you can just pick a day for data until that day, and you can just export it. So I'm just going to do it, but I'm here, and I say everything because there's not a lot of things, and it's going to be exported. It's useful for you for different things. So it's exporting in Excel. So if you want to work in Excel, so that's something you can do from there. If you want to back up your data, you feel you want to back up in Excel, you can also do it. And it gives you all the information you need. So it's a nice feature to use and to know that it's there. The last thing probably that's important now is the email template. So you can create email templates to use when you contact candidates. Will it be for a first approach or second approach? And you can always customize this template at the moment you're sending out. So it's pretty useful because you can have standard ones and you can always customize a bit when you're sending out to the most relevant information. So if I call this a first approach template and I will add contact, and I can use those two variables. So I can say dear, and I say, okay, I'm going to use the first name, and I'm going to do this. We have an interesting position for you, right? And you can add your signature, you can add whatever you want. And I'm going to add this template. So you'll see there's already a couple of templates here. And I just add this first approach test. And I can edit it and delete it very easily. And now what I can do is I can go to my projects. For example, I go to this one. And I say, okay, all those people here are just the one with status for more information. I want all these people to receive a reminder or a specific email. So I could select all of them here, or just click in each of the boxes as you wish. And I could say I'm going to send them an email. And here I can choose my email template. So I will take the first approach test, the one I just created, and I can change the status. So that's really nice because then you can immediately make a status change that will say you've sent that email. So if I call it more information, already more information, but I could change that. And just for me, I will call it first approach sales DE test, something like that. I'll call it contact. And I can also here save as a template. So I can also create a brand new email I'm going to send to people and save that as a template. So you can do both, and I can here adjust whenever I want to talk to you. And I can send it. I'm not going to send it now because there's the old test account, so it's not great. But if you send it, if you click on send, then you'll have a notification and you're sure you want to send it, and you say yes, and you see it's going out. So it's really nice because you save a lot of time. You can send batches, so you don't have to send one by one, and you can customize a bit, and you can follow up immediately through the status code what you're doing. So it's a very, very nice feature you can use on the platform. Excuse me. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because we already talked about it, the approach candidate, but just quick reminders that if you change something in the agenda of your candidate, it will show up here. So you can use that as a planning tool, if you will, to make sure that for each candidate, you're contacting them at the right moment. But the last thing I really want to talk about is this. That's the search, and the search is only for the candidates. So if you want to search on a project, you go to projects and search box on the project. But here, if you want to look for a candidate, so I want to look for this candidate because I talked to her, I was not sure, and I want to go back to the profile and whatever. So I can search it here, and it will appear here. That's simple search on your database. But you also have something very nice called advanced search, and that's very useful if you have a new vacature. and you want to search on the database if you don't already have profiles that match this position. And here you can do a lot of different ways to search the people. So if you're doing in that respect, you probably don't want to search on the name, but maybe you want to search on the category, for example. And if you search on the category, this one is a project manager, so it will show up here. And here you can also search externally on internet, on LinkedIn, etc. I don't really use that, to be honest, but that can be very useful if you want to have a very broad search. But I really use this a lot, the advanced search, because it's really good to be able to look into your own database if you already have a great talent that you already spotted in the past, but you didn't have the right opportunity. You can go back and say, okay, this great talent, now I can maybe offer him something that's a good match. So it's really, really good for searching really good talent. So I think that was it about the overall recruitment platform for Matrix Lab. If you have any question, please contact us. You can always send an email to recruitment@matrixlab.com, and we'll make sure to answer to you as soon as possible. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.